binding your Spektrum transmitter to your UMX airplane. It's pretty simple, no bind plug needed. That one there in the back left corner, that is the bind light. It's all about the flashing lights. Let me show you. We're going to bind this DXS to my UMX timber, and I'll show you step by step. Only take a few seconds. Hang tight. Hey folks, it's Sean, Griffin RC Planes. So a UMX airplane binds a little different than a full-size bind and fly airplane. There are no bind plug. It's all about plugging the battery up and looking for the certain flashing lights. And don't miss your opportunity to bind. If you wait too long, it'll time out. You'll have to start the process over. So let me give you a quick little demo. And afterwards, I'll tell you the story why. Because this kid is a natural. So we're going to bind this DXS to my turbo timber, UMX turbo timber. UMX planes bind a little different than a full-size bind and fly. No bind plug needed. It's all about plugging up the battery, looking for the lights on the receiver speed control PC board in there. When they're flashing a certain way, then you're in the bind mode. If you wait too long, then you kind of missed your windows of opportunities and you need to start over. We're going to bind it real quick, and I'm going to tell you a couple quick stories, a very important one and a good one. So we got the DXS transmitter, the way you bind with this transmitter, and you can bind this way with all of them, is to hold the bind button and power on the transmitter. Transmitters with a screen have a couple different ways of binding, but this one you hold the bind button down while you power it up, and you need to be a couple feet away from your airplane. If you're really close, it's probably not going to bind. You need to have a little bit of distance between you. When I go to bind it, I'll step back, or I'll hold the transmitter over here. Let me get you zoomed in. I'm going to show you these special little lights in here. Oh yeah. I put some miles on this timber. It's been a fun little bird. I can get my battery out of the way there. So we're looking at the PC board inside there. And when we plug it up, we're going to see a couple different lights, but we're going to see the quick blinking, kind of an alternating flash, and that's when it's ready to bind. So we'll do it a few times just so you guys can see it. That light in the back, the real quick one, that one there in the back left corner, that is the bind light. Let's do it again. There we go. All right, so we're gonna, and you need to make sure your airplane is level. These PC boards, the receiver speed control board, you know, these planes have a gyro, so they know which way is up, which way is down, left and right. It will not bind. The plane is upside down. You need to have it sitting on its wheels and plug it up. that light back there in the back, the fast flashing one, that is the "it's time to bind me." That's that light. You want to be careful when you're powering on your airplane, because no bind plug, and it's possible someone else in the park could be binding to their plane, and if you just plug your plane up, they could possibly bind to yours. What's binding, you ask? For simple terms, it's a phone call between your transmitter and your airplane, and once the bind is successful, only your transmitter can call your plane. No one else can call it. Once you have bound your transmitter to your plane, now nobody else can bind to it unless you power it on like that without your transmitter on. Therefore, it's wide open for somebody else to try to bind to it. That's why you always turn on your transmitter first, then your airplane. That way no one else can bind to it. But you got to remember, there's that split little second that somebody across the park is binding to their UMX, and you both plug them up at the same time. It could be bad. So we're going to plug the airplane up. We're going to wait for our bind light. Back left corner, flashing fast, right there. And I'm going to hold down the bind button. And I'm powering on. I'm holding the power button. I'm still holding the bind button. And it is now bound. At 20,000 subscribers, I'm going to give away 3 jets. We can do 3 FMSs, 3 E-Flite, 3 free wing, 1 of each, whatever. We're going to do 3 jet giveaway at 20K. We can do it sooner than later. If everybody subscribed and during this weekend, we could do the giveaway on Monday. Doesn't quite happen that fast, but we could. And the odds have been really good. We did a giveaway at 1,000 and a giveaway at 5,000. At 5,000 subscribers, like less than 200 people signed up. So the odds are good. So at 20,000, maybe 600 people would sign up. So anyways, I would appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed. Why people fall off on accident, I don't know. Okay, back to the video. And off with the transmitter. I'm going to bind this up to my normal transmitter so that I can fix the flaps. I'll show you that. This older DX6i, that you can see all the dust on it, that's what I normally fly the UMX plane with. Why do you ask? Because I used to take the UMX planes with me to work and to the grocery store parking lot and stuff like that, and then fly it in small areas when I had a chance. And I always thought that if my car got broke into or just whatever, I would rather this older transmitter get stolen or get broken than my good one. Plus, you don't need a real sophisticated one to fly the UMX plane. This DXS transmitter, it can fly a plane with flaps, but you need to program the DXS to be able to do that. This switch right here didn't seem to do anything, so we could have found a programming profile to put into the DXS where this switch would have operated the flaps. It's probably set up on another channel for landing gear right now instead of flaps. So anyways, the UMX is bound to the DXS. I need to rebind it to my DX6i, and then we will put the flaps back in their stowed position so that I can put this guy back in its suitcase. This transmitter binds the same way. Doesn't have a bind button. It has a bind momentary switch. So we plug it up. We're waiting for the flashing light in the back left hand corner. It's flashing real quick. Holding the bind toggle switch, powering on transmitter, still holding the bind, and now it is bound to my transmitter that I normally fly with. And the flaps automatically went back to level. So I got my right alien, my left alien, elevator up, elevator down, rudder left, rudder right, and the flaps and then my El Motor, and then of course safe select. Safe on, safe off. These UMX planes are so cool how they come in the box with the handle on them, like its own little protective briefcase. And you can use some of the foam that it comes with to work on your plane. And one of you guys showed me that you can do this also. Pretty dang cool. Pretty cool. Just like so. And just like so. And so. Like always, thank you for watching. I hope that this video helps out at least one person. So here's my stories. Today's September 5th. Last weekend was Labor Day weekend. I went to the park and I flew all 3 days. And there was no sports going on, so a lot of people came to fly. And I got to see a bunch of new faces. I made some new friends and saw some new faces. So here it was, Monday, probably an hour before dark. And this super dad showed up with his 2 kids. He had a Draco that was brand spanking new. His kid had a UMX Turbo Timber, and his other kid had a Duet, FMS Duet. And the kid flying the Duet was probably like 5, and he was flying the heck out of the thing. It was starting to get breezy, and he was flying it. He was tearing it up with the transmitter it comes with, and wasn't asking for any help at all. His other son was probably, I'm guessing, 8, 10-ish, and he had the UMX Turbo Timber. So I'm out flying, and his dad's trying to help him, saying, you know, here, let me see it, I'll trim it out, and hands the transmitter to him, and his dad is just being really cool. And the kid went through a couple batteries, and his dad just kept helping him, and his dad was just so good. Man, you're nailing it. Oh, that was so impressive. And just, you know, being a cool dad. And I'm still thinking about the Draco in the back of my head, like, I'd like to see the Draco fly. I've never seen one in person. And I hear the dad say, after this battery, I'm going to use that transmitter so he could fly his Draco. So then it dawned on me that they were sharing the transmitter. So I started to pack my stuff up while the kid was still flying. I was starting to pack my stuff up while the dad got the transmitter for him. And he was just going through the control surfaces. And then I looked, and there was a DX6 on the picnic table. And I said, what's wrong with this one? And he said, we couldn't figure out how to bind it to his UMX Turbo Timber. So I bound the DX6 to the kid's UMX Turbo Timber. Dad got his transmitter to his Draco, which I think was like an NX8, and everybody was happy. And the dad and the kid both said that they were plugging in the battery and waiting for the light, and they just couldn't get it to bind. But they got it to bind to the other transmitter, but not to this one. And anyways, I bound it, no problems. The kid was like, yes! And the kid, man, just grabbed the transmitter from me, and no safe select or nothing, and he just gave it some gas, and it just took off and started flying. Like, he flew it good. And his little brother was flying the heck out of it too. And then I got to watch his dad fly the Draco, and that was pretty impressive. He flew it really good. I don't think he had safe enabled. I believe it was his first flight, and he did really good. So that was my idea for the UMX Turbo Timber, or the UMX airplane, how to bind them. So anyways, like, share, subscribe, thumbs up, all that stuff is the best way to support me. And until next time, you'll see me here. Lots of videos to come, guys. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots. I just have a little more obligations now compared to a year and a half ago, so the videos are spread out. Sometimes we can do 4 weekends, sometimes it's 1 a week. And anyways, I appreciate it. Happy flying. Until next time, you'll see me here. Adios. No remote up there.